Universal Spirit Center. So good to see you here this morning. All of you amazing lights and beingness being all that you are. Yeah. Oh, the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't need to worry about where or when. You know how they'll feel it in. You're on the right track. No need to worry how or why. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Oh, amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, we will do amazing things. All the places you will go and the people you will know. No need to worry when or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, we will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, we will do amazing things. Oh, yes, you clapping for the amazement that you are. Let's welcome our wonderful band, the Sounds of Spirit. Linda on keys, Oliver on bass, and joining us again, Josh on drums. So glad to have you in the house. And now, you virtually and you out there right now, we're going to take this time to send out a bunch of love. Have you ever sent a bunch of love to somebody? You know, just a whole bunch. So let's stand up and send out a bunch of love. Anybody you think about, just slap them with some love. Give them a slap of love. Especially those you think, I don't want to give you no love. Slap them with some double love. I send out my love. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love heavens, and it returns to me. Let's send some joy. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. Let's send our power. I send my power over the mountains. I send my power over the sea. Oh, let's send some power into heavens. Don't you know it returns to you and me? Let's send peace. I send my peace over the mountains. Go send your peace over the sea. Send your peace into the heavens, and let it return to you and me. Yeah, yeah. Let's send some love over the mountains. Send some love over the sea. Send some love, yeah, yeah, into the heavens, and it returns. Don't you know it returns? It returns to you and me.
My voice is tired for Gino. Good morning. Good morning and welcome. Welcome to Universal Spirit Center. Please know that whoever you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are deeply loved and you are welcomed here. I'm Kevin Busey. I have the great joy and honor of being the spiritual leader of our progressive and inclusive spiritual community, and I welcome you all this morning to a divine experience. So some of you might be saying, I thought it was your day off. It is my day off. And I do have a date with my dogs to take them on a hike when I leave here. So I'm going to go do that soon. But I'm here to share with you an extremely exciting announcement. I've been waiting for 13 years. But it's always the new guy. But before I do that, I want to remind you to order your cakes today. I just ordered 3 cakes. Pies, sorry. I just ordered 3 pies for Thanksgiving. A group of people at our center are making them next week, right? So making them next week, and they're selling them as a fundraiser, 100% to the center. I just bought 3, so sign up for that. But that's not my announcement. Well, I just announced it. So we're pretty certain that we have found a new home. Pretty certain. Yeah. It's in Temecula. So there are a couple very small hurdles, one of which is to get all of you out there. And you who are active congregants, members, or have contributed to the New Home Fund, we want your feedback on this space. The leadership went out yesterday and we got a thumbs up from the leadership. So the next step is to get you guys out there. So you're all welcome. You online, please join us. If you're active member, active congregant, we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. So next Sunday, after our Sunday gathering, we'll leave here and we'll go out to the new space. And at 12:30, we'll have the official presentation and tour. So I want you to know that. And there are directions, half-sheet flyers on your way out. So the building, I'll just tell you where it is. It's in Temecula. Yeah, too much. Yeah, Jordan, not again. Okay. It is directly west of Fashion Valley Mall, directly west. There's a gas station, and then right after that, there's a 2-story brick building. And we would be leasing 5,500 square feet. And it's already set up as, it was a call center, but it's already set up as for us, classroom, sanctuary, offices. There's parking. There are 2 levels parking below the building, 2 levels. So when you come in next week, you'll see probably Lee standing there directing you into the driveway. And then you'll go down, and there's 2 levels, separate garage doors for each level, so you can park there. On Sundays, we have all the parking, so parking will be great. So next Sunday at 12:30. What else did I want to say? Here's something else I just want to say. I think the timeliness of this is extremely significant. At a time in which many of us feel disillusioned with what's going on externally, right? So many of my family and friends, and I've heard from so many of you, that we're taking that journey inward. We're pulling our energy from the outer to the inner, and isn't that the spiritual work? Isn't that how evolution of our souls, isn't that how spiritual awakening happens? So I've been thinking this week, and I'm not giving a talk, Sarah is, but it's just a timeliness of our home. But the significance of this timeliness, maybe the simple call for us is to withdraw our energy from outer and go within and do the work needed within so we could shift the outer. And this would be a great space to do that. It would be a great space. It would be a center with all sorts of activities, all sorts of availability. So I will entertain very briefly a couple questions, and then we're going to move on. Yeah. It has elevators from the garage levels, floors. Yeah, Pat. Yeah, because the mall's right there. Yes. Well, if we do this, it would be February 1st would be when the lease would start. Yes. Yes, we would just say, someone just said that. Yes, there's a bus route. Because it's right there at Fashion Valley, right? Yeah. Fashion Valley. Did I say Mission? Sorry. It's Fashion Valley Mall. Yes. Hold on a second. Suyun? No, we won't need, okay, let me just stress that real quickly. And I'll just conclude with that. Lorraine is here. She can answer questions. Lorraine, would you stand? If you have questions afterwards, but you're going to get all your questions answered next week. Come next week. Just come next week at 12:30. But I do want to say this. For you who have over the years, I'm addressing both of you online and here, to our capital campaign program, you are making this possible. You are making this possible. We could not do this without your generosity, those of you who gave. And I realize, I acknowledge it's a long time in coming, and we're just feeling this is a great place. But I want to say that. And there will be a little bit of fundraising, and we'll go into that, not a hard push at all, because of the generosity of so many of you.
we're able to do this. But there will be specifics about that. Okay? Okay, great news, right? Yeah. Okay. So now I hand off the mic to Reverend Sarah.
Card in the back of the seat in front of you, and you can give us your details, and we can stay connected through our newsletter and other things. So feel free to do that. And then the other announcement is that we like to gather as community, can you tell? Like, we love being around each other, right? So today, after our service, after our gathering, we will have time to gather and eat and enjoy, courtesy of Today from Al and Carolyn Floyd. So thank you for our delicious noshes today and all the ways that we get to nosh and nibble and connect even more. So just hang around after the gathering, and over here we'll have some delicious little treats for you. And oh, it's Al's birthday. Al, are we so ever glad that you were born? Can you stand up and we can just say thank you for being born. Thank you, Al, for being on the planet. Happy birthday. Yay. Okay.
So our history, an advocate, Susan Schoen Harrell. In Congress and the courts, she has advocated for the reforms for the restoration of Native American religious freedom to the protection of sacred lands. And she has held the Smithsonian and other museums to higher standards in collaborating with Native people and their culture. A fierce leader to remove Native mascots from local and national sports. Recently, the victory with the Washington Redskins are now the Washington Commanders. Really, really beautiful. President Obama awarded Susan Schoen Harrell the Presidential Medal of Freedom. His quote was, "She's taught us all that Native values make Americans stronger." So let us do our prayer. I will read and then you repeat after me. We are the light bearers of love and forgiveness. Vibrating the flames of equality, grace, and peace all over the world. Our journey toward equality reflects our commitment, ensuring that all are heard and valued. We are all a part of our history. And since this is Native American Heritage Month, we have a wonderful video that's our Racial Equality Project Call to Action. It is Understanding Native American Heritage. Watch the video. It's on our webpage. It's really great. And also, this Wednesday coming up, it is a wonderful chakra dance. So come on out and enjoy 6:30 here with our wonderful Kayla. Thank you.
My name is Deva, and what I'm going to be doing is resurrecting my meditation group. Some of you are familiar, we did at the beginning of this year, but I'm changing it up a little bit. It'll be twice a month instead of every day. Well, we had it once a week is what I'm trying to say. My brain's not working. And so now it's going to be twice a month on Saturdays. Not to conflict with the angels, we would never do that. It's going to be the second and the fourth Saturday of the month from 10 to 11. Love offering, and it'll begin on the 14th of December. So it's all levels, and just come and enjoy yourself, unwind and meditate, and I hope to see you there. Thanks.
Good morning. I'm Bob Mosai. You have the rest of your announcements? Hello. You're awake. So our popular Angel Tree program is going on starting last week. So join and talk to Liz outside by the Yes table if you'd like to support a foster child for holiday time. See Liz outside, and she'll be here for the next few Sundays until all the children have been sponsored. We're seeking holiday vendors for our holiday bazaar, which is happening on December 15th. See Blade outside or myself, or sign up at the Yes table. If you're a vendor, we need volunteers too. Gina, can you hand me that? I forgot. So I'm doing a workshop in December to make these flowers. If you're interested, please sign up at the table outside. And I'm having it for the end of December, the end of November. Depends on how many people sign up. So if you're interested in learning how to make these, come see me or sign up at the Yes table. And as Reverend Kevin said, today is the last chance for you to sign up for pies, so do that outside at the Yes table also. Excuse me?
Is it the last chance to buy the pie?
Yes. Well, this is last Sunday because 2 weeks is going to be Thanksgiving already. Are you ready? I hope so. So, again, speaking of scientists, how do scientists freshen their breath? With experiments.
So I just had to stay for Bob's joke, but I'm going to go in a minute. But I want you to know, on our website this week will be a button on directions on how to get to the place we're looking at on Sunday. So if you're not here today, you're online, just go to our website. Front landing page will be a button for the directions. So I invite you all to stand. I invite you to turn around below the clock where there's a camera, and hundreds of people are watching us online. So welcome our online virtual community. Thanks for being with us. Stay standing and welcome each other to Universal Spirit Center.
Hello. Hey. Let's do my favorite classroom quieting activity, the waterfall. Although I do appreciate the time. We might need another, do we need another waterfall? Thank you, Julian. It's so funny. It works with kids. It works with adults. How lovely it is for us to gather together and just be in each other's company, you know, through times of celebration and times of challenge, right? It's a beautiful gift. So now is our time to come together in some spiritual practice. So we'll come together in some reading, spiritual reading and meditation, and I will bring us out with a prayer. So, and if you have further prayer requests, you can put them in the box right over here, and we will pray on them throughout the week. We, meaning the body of practitioners and spiritual counselors and ministers that we have at Universal Spirit Center. So, okay, so let's take a breath. Just feel present in this moment. This moment to be absolutely aware of our infinite nature, to be aware that we are aware, that there is a vitality and an aliveness that is seeking to express through us in its own way, a unique, magnificent, powerful way. So today's reading is from John Donahue. He writes, "The spirit of a time is an incredibly subtle, yet hugely powerful force. And it is composed of the mentality and spirit of all individuals together. Therefore, the way you look at things is not simply a private matter. Your outlook actually and concretely affects what goes on. When you give in to helplessness, you collude with despair and add to it. When you take back your power and choose to see the possibilities for healing and transformation, your creativity awakens and flows to become an active force of renewal and encouragement in the world. In this way, even in your own hidden life, you can become a powerful agent of transformation in a broken, darkened world. There is a huge force field that opens when intention focuses and directs itself toward transformation." How good it is to know that there is an incredible, magnificent power of transformation right where we are. That it is our intention, our conscious use of our consciousness, that we simply have to be still and aware of it. What a powerful force that is. This divine idea unfolding through each one of us in all place and time and circumstance. Always present, never absent. And so we get to remember and tune in and align to that force. We get to tune in and align to the truth that love is always present, that peace, freedom is right here within. Wholeness, power, joy, all unfolding and expressing in a unique way, in the only way it can, that the universe unfolds right where we are. And so I give thanks to remember this today, for this time, in community, to remember it together, to see and awaken to it in ourselves and in each other and in the world around us. And so I know that this time together today is blessed, knowing that this is true. I speak a word knowing that this is true, that we hold the highest consciousness for all who may be suffering fear, war, conflict, natural disaster, floods. That we absolutely stand in the truth, knowing that there is the light and love of the infinite. There is a supply to meet every need. That life is good, that God is showing up in an infinite myriad of ways. So I say thank you for that. I know it's showing up as Gino and her songs. I know it's showing up as our musicians. It's showing up as all who put our space together today, Lee and Bob and Eileen, our production crew, showing up as our greeters, showing us as each person in each chair today, watching in person or online, feeling the stream of love move out from us, out into the infinite. What a beautiful thing. I'm so grateful to know this. And so I surrender it and allow it and behold its beautiful, magnificent manifestation. And so it is.
I am here for my God to reveal what was said in the beginning. I am here for my God to reveal what was said in the beginning. I was walking asleep, dreaming I was awake. This world confused me and led me astray. Yes, it led me astray. What would I be to please my mother? What would I do to make peace with my father? I was spinning around till I finally found what was new and always true. Now I'm here for my God to reveal what was said in the beginning. Yeah, I am here for my God to reveal what was said in the beginning. You're walking asleep, fooled by the ways of this world, so turned around till it's hard to discern what is up, what is down. Oh, stand still and be your own salvation. You are the salvation. You're the light of the world. You are God in the flesh. And as we awake, we must confess, I am here for my God to reveal what was said in the beginning. Yeah, 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 yeah. I am here for my God to reveal what was said in the beginning. Go back to the beginning. When you're alone and scared, go back to the beginning. In the beginning, God. In the beginning, God. In the beginning, God.
Right. Just you can say so much in a song. We don't even need a sermon, really. Right? Just it's all right there. So thank you, Gino. So what a time to come together, right? You know, we get to be human in this time, and it feels hard for some of us. But you know, I find solace in community and in being together with people who have a shared vision grounded in spiritual truth and a vision for a world that works for everyone. And I'm not giving that up, right? That's what we're here for. So we get to walk this path and use whatever is before us to serve our transformation, to serve and deepen in truth. And so the other thing that I find solace in is, I mean, it's not actually solace. I mean, we think about humans have been being really crappy to each other for like millennia, right? Like there's been war and violence and oppression for thousands of years. But there's also been wisdom traditions and sacred truth and spiritual awakening in the midst of all of that. And so that is where I find solace and inspiration and guidance in the days ahead. And that's really what Scripture is for, right? I mean, if it doesn't serve us now, what is the use and purpose, right? So we can look back at some traditions, and so I want to do that today. I'll look at some our Judaic and Christian traditions, and I'll look at some the Sikh tradition for some things that have been giving me some guidance, and maybe it helps you as well. So, but first, I was you know, it's funny. I saw a comic that said my desire to stay informed is in direct conflict with my need to stay sane. Like, right? Like sometimes it can be, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and sometimes the human experience is tough. So we got to give ourselves some grace with that too. But there is work to do. I was at a conference this last week, a few days. It was for school administrators and leaders across the state. And for those of you who don't know, I'm in school leadership. And one of our keynote speakers was Dr. Shirley Weber, and she was our California Secretary of State a few years back. And she was the first African-American Secretary of State, and she's one of only 5 African-Americans that have been at that state constitutional office level in our 173 history. So she was inspiring, and she has a background in education, but she was talking about, and this is what we're facing now, it's also what teachers are facing. Like, what do we do now? Like, how do we support students, our LGBTQ students or our trans students who don't feel safe? And I will say that there's probably more safety in California than in other places, but still, there is still hate and bigotry and ignorance that plays out in terrible ways. And or what do we do with our, if our Department of Education shifts and all of a sudden how we support kids with disabilities and teachers who support them gets radically shifted as well. I mean, there's a lot to be concerned about, just like I think each of us has our own things that we're concerned about with the world around us. We can find all of those things. And she said, we do what we always have done. We continue to do the work. We continue to show up and be a place for our students to feel safe and to grow and to learn and to thrive and to be inspired to become better humans. And I think that's what all of us are here to do, whether it's in a classroom or with our neighbors or in our community. And she referenced, like I said, she referenced an old Negro spiritual, and I thought, wow, just going back on the history of what's been done and what's been persevered and triumphed through. This spiritual said, I don't feel no ways tired. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. And I thought, there is things to do and work to be done. I don't think the universe has unfolded and transformed this far to just stop working. I don't feel like the universe has stopped evolving all of a sudden just because things aren't looking the way or there's still more to be done. I think in our tradition, we know that you cannot heal what is not revealed. And there has been a lot revealed to be healed, right? Right. There is a lot, right? So, but it's coming up to be healed, just like things with, in our physical body, when cancer comes up, great. Now we get to see what needs to be healed and removed and transformed and dealt with. So we get to see that and work through it. But I feel like just like the teachers are here to be a reliable context for truth for their students, we are here to be spiritual evolutionaries. We are here to be spiritually healed places of presence, places and contexts of authentic, grounded spiritual truth and a vision for a world that works for everyone. So we're here to do that, even when it's really difficult. And I know we've been talking about this week, that, is everything really divinely unfolding? That's our theme this month. And so I think that's something I appreciate about Rev Kevin and about our community is we don't shy away from the hard stuff. We look at it we are going to penetrate the darkness with the light that we can bring to illuminate and penetrate and dissipate whatever that darkness is that needs to be healed. We're not going to look away from that. And so sometimes it's hard, and sometimes we have to sit with the impact and how it feels, and that's what we've been talking about too, is really recognizing and feeling it first, and then allowing it to be some compassionate witness through our mindfulness, through our practice of non-judgmental observation and prayer and affirmation, and then we lift it up to be healed. We look at it and see what spiritual truth, what can be gained from this? What can this serve? How can this serve our awakening? And that's what we do inside ourselves, and that's what we do and bring it to the world around us. It's a process of feeling where we're at, and sometimes we just need to stay in that place, and some of us are in that place, and we can just acknowledge that and give space for that. But I invite you to also allow that to have a willingness to allow that to serve something that awakens in you, something that awakens in you to have more peace, more freedom, more feelings of wholeness and power in you. Joel Goldsmith is is a metaphysician and a mystic from the 1950s in our movement, and he says, freedom is not a condition of the government. Freedom is a condition of the soul. And so I think that's where we're here to rise up in freedom in our soul, so that regardless of the experience happening around us, it starts here. We experience freedom within. We're not subject to the condition and the effects around us. And that's true freedom, right? So we acknowledge that and we move forward and we see what needs to be done, and we can also do the work. And so I think what's been speaking to me too is how can we stand in the truth? And that's what we're here to talk about today is how can we stand in the truth? What is the truth? Where are we going from here? I was listening to a talk a few weeks ago from Agape and Rev Julie Moret, and she referenced a sermon from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. called But If Not. And this was a few weeks before the election. And I found it so inspiring. And he talks about two types of faith. And I think we recognize this intuitively, two types of faith. One is the if faith. And that's basically saying, I'll believe it if I see it. my belief and my faith is conditioned on what I see around me. If I get if I have the perfect job or the perfect house or the perfect partner or the perfect work situation, that is evidence of my faith, rather than saying, the though faith is like, regardless of what's happening around me, I have faith, I know that this is true. I know that I do my work, I vision, I pray, I do my work inside, I experience freedom and peace within me, and even if whatever I visioned for doesn't come to pass or it doesn't look like what I thought it would look, but if not, I still have that truth. It's still true. It's still guiding and directing and living in me, and I'm embodying that. That's also a tenet from Ernest Holmes, our founder of Science of Mind and Spirit. The idea that we have access to all the good of the universe, but in order to experience it, we need to embody it within us. And so it's really for us that though faith that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. talked about is the though faith that regardless of what I think I'm seeing, I know what's true, and I stand in that truth. He's referencing a story in the Bible, and this is a story from the Judaic tradition, and it's during the Babylonian exile. And I found this really interesting, thinking back now with hindsight or Godsight 2020. So this is happening during the time, that the Israelites had lots of different people conquered them and oppressed them over the years. And this is the time when the Babylonian Empire came in and basically completely razed everything to the ground, like just all rubble. Their whole livelihood, their temples, everything was crushed and destroyed. They were physically marched from their place where they were living in Palestine or Israel and marched to Babylon. And while they were there, King Nebuchadnezzar wanted them to follow his faith and his beliefs. And there were some folks who said, no, we're not going to. And so here's where the but if not comes. He was telling them they had to believe, he wanted them to worship, and they said, our God is able to deliver us. Like saying, we have faith, we're praying that our God will deliver us from the burning and out of thine hand. But if not, we will not serve your gods and we will not worship false idols. But if not. So they didn't doubt. So even though whatever they saw around them, even though there was still persecution and oppression and burning, they had the truth within them regardless of what was happening around them. They refused to buy into the faith of fear, buy into the false idols of fear and anger and judgment and blame. And so that's what the faith is that we're talking about, that though faith is lasting and permanent and is not dependent on the temporary things around us, that the ultimate test of though faith is to say, but if not. Like I have faith that I have the perfect work and the perfect job for me, the perfect housing, the perfect church location, right? I have the faith, I vision, but if not, but if it doesn't look like the path that I envisioned, but if it doesn't look like how I thought it should unfold and look like, but if not, I still have that faith. I know that it's true. I know that I have a place, a home. I know that I have love. I have wholeness. I have freedom. I have purpose. I have value and meaning and work that I'm doing. I am supplied, but if not. So it's really about praying, knowing and believing in what we don't see more than what we do see. And Reverend Michael Beckwith used to say this, and it's kind of convoluted, but he always said, when I believe more in what I don't see than what I do see, then what I don't see, I will see, and what I do see, I won't see. I got it. But that's the essence, right? That's the truth, right? We didn't see a home for ourselves for 13 years, right? It didn't look like, we did see a home. It's been here at the Lions Club and at the Sunset Temple and at the theaters downtown. We had a home, but we also had a vision for a more permanent home. And it didn't come, the path towards that place didn't exactly look like we thought it would look, but here we are. And it's at the right time and the right place, and all the numbers are working, and it's a great unfolding. So that's what the invitation is, to stand in our truth, is that we resolve that our truth, we resolve that we know that there is equality and there is justice. We resolve and stand in the truth that there is a world that works for everyone. And so we know that truth within ourselves first. We find that freedom in ourselves, just like Joel Goldsmith was saying, that we find and live into the freedom that is a condition of our soul. And that it's never a condition of the government around us, because it starts from within and then goes to without. The other thing that's interesting about the Babylonian exile was that, so they were there for probably 40 to 70 years, and they had to, again, have this vision of what they believed through a whole generation. Some people went there who never returned, like they lived and died there. But do you know what happened during the Babylonian exile? The Bible, the Hebrew stories. Up until that point, nothing had been written down. It was all oral tradition. And so that exile, no, of course they didn't ask for the exile. Of course they didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve all that persecution. But they used it for a deepening of their faith. They used it to determine what they wanted to stand in their truth, and to write it down and to clarify and to act and move from that place. It helped them understand what was true. And eventually, they were able to move back to Israel. So I thought that was interesting, that even though for things that are happening that we don't envision, that we don't want, that we're not asking for, that certainly don't deserve, can we find something within that experience that serves our greater awakening, that serves a deepening of the truth that we know, that we can stand on and guide ourselves and act in the direction of. The other thing, so I will stop and ask for a moment. So can you think of some hardship or some time, or maybe a time of exile, that has served you to clarify a truth for you? Or maybe during this time of the election, what is a truth that has been clarified for you, that it has allowed you to strengthen and deepen in your conviction for? Anything anybody wants to share? What's something that you know? Miss Maria Teresa back here. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm. Thank you. So she's sharing about the loss during COVID and the pandemic, and loss of family, and even amidst different beliefs about the COVID and vaccines and things, but through that all, that served to deepen your experience of love and the truth of love between you, regardless of the difference of experiences. Thank you, Maria Teresa. Brittany. Mm. So you want to be more kind to strangers, like you're spreading more kindness. Yeah. Even to people you don't know. Absolutely. Yes. Something's calling within you to do that, to act in that way. Thank you. Any other share? Yes, my friend. Mm. Yeah, so you've deepened your connection with higher power, and that's deepening your connection and the love with your family, and then that spreads from there. That's beautiful. Thank you. So, okay, Elizabeth, we'll do one more. So you're focusing on the now and being mindful in your meditation practice, and that's carrying out into your interactions with people around you. Thank you. Thank you. So I think that's something important to remember, that this is serving us and it's deepening. There is things that are awakening and deepening spiritual truths that's happening in us even now, maybe because of now. So the other aspect of faith is community. the power of connecting with others. So something that was part of that story in the book of Daniel with Nebuchadnezzar is it wasn't just one person saying, but if not, it was 3 people. And so it was the power of connecting with others and standing in truth together. So I have one other story that inspired me over this time. I was listening to Valerie Carr. She's a Sikh. I was saying Sikh, but it's really Sikh, they pronounce it. And it's she was talking about the stories of the Sikh tradition and where it grew up in. Started in Punjabi region of northwest India at the crossroads of Islam and Hinduism and all the peoples and ideas that were floating around that time. And it came from a mystic tradition, but it also is grounded in so it's grounded in devotional energy and liberation effort. And so it's really like standing in spiritual truth, but bringing it back into the human experience. And they still are a faith that really advocates and works towards equity and justice. They stood for eradicating the caste system. So that brought a lot of attention to them from the oppressive powers that be. And so they were attacked constantly from different empires like the Mughal Empire. And so they had the experience of they used to have like a guru, and the guru would lead their group, their faith. And then these oppressive powers kept wanting to kill their guru. So around from like the 5th to the 10th guru, the Mughal Empire just kept coming in and killing and trying to oppress them and wipe them out. And finally, the 10th guru, he wrote a letter to the Mughal emperor, and he said, in this space, he said, let me go back and find it. He said, yes, you killed my sons, and yes, you've destroyed all that I have, but I have kept my faith, and you have broken yours with Allah. So who does victory belong to? And then after that, the 10th guru redefined what guru was for their tradition, and he redefined it and said the 11th guru from here on out is the community, is the collective. We all hold the wisdom that we know. Our collective stories and songs and truth is in our collective, our community. And so they continue to do that. They continue to stand in the truth that they know and do the work that they have to do. They honor both a tradition of being a sage, loving person, loving spiritual path person, and a warrior. So they have a tradition of both contemplation and action. And you'll find that all of their temples or their places of worship have 2 spaces. They always have a space for devotion and prayer, and they have a space for community and feeding people and having food together. And that's always feeding the hungry, whoever's there. So I would say that they found solace, even in the midst of oppression and having just generations of being killed and trying to be eradicated and oppressed by an overarching empire. They maintained their faith and they maintained their spiritual truth. They stood in that truth. And spoiler alert, like the Mughal Empire is no longer around, but now there's like 25 million Sikhs in the world. So I guess they won, So that's all to say that I think there is a power in community and power in sharing our collective wisdom and standing on that together when things are hard. It helps to be heard and seen and share when things are difficult or when tragedy happens or when there's injustice. And we've seen that in ourselves, right? We do things. We have our Racial Equality Project. We have our Spirit in Action. We've done marches. We have food for the homeless in our paper bag ministry, serving at the Path. So there's things to do and there's work to be done. And when we do it together, we remind each other and standing in the truth together. Because sometimes we forget or sometimes it gets hard and it needs to be seen and held by the collective, by our community. So I want to call forth one last thing to look at. And this is something I got from Reverend David Alexander. He's a minister at our CSL in Atlanta. But he was reminding us about social change, and change takes time. And certainly as an educator working with kids and behavior doesn't change overnight, right? So humans, we don't always change the minute we think we're going to make a change. There's habitual things that we have to do. So it takes a collective effort to do that. And there's a group that's created a framework or analyzed how social change happens. And so there's an idea that in our community, there's all the different roles and ways that we can support social change. So can we bring up that So think about all the different ways. So what they say is that for equity and liberation, yes, there's all sorts of roles. There's weavers, there's experimenters, there's builders, there's visionaries, there's frontline responders, there's guides and storytellers, healers, disruptors. Anyone feel like they're a disruptor? Everyone has a role. I might be on the caregiver side. I'll have to say that. I'll own that. So how is it for you? Where are you in this? That you get to be part of social change. Maybe it's just holding truth. Maybe it's just reminding your neighbor. Maybe it's having kindness that you're sharing with a stranger, or a loving presence and being mindful, or connecting with family that you didn't think you had a loving connection with before. All of that matters. All of that contributes to change and transformation, both inside and outside. So that's what we get to stand together today. So I'm going to ask us to close our eyes. I'm going to close with a little process. Just have you center in the moment. Consider all the ways that we get to show up as community. Consider all that has happened in your lifetime. And really allow yourself to merge and meld with that. What is most important and most true for you? What is that value? What is that quality of the divine that you are standing in regardless? That you are saying, but if not, that I know I am here as a presence of good. I know that I am the point and place of peace, the point and place of love. I am the point and place of truth, point and place of freedom. That I am the point and place where God shows up. What is that for you? What does that look like? Think about how you are. You are an incredible, important part of our whole experience of humans in our community. You are part of that social change. So just feel that. Breathe into that. Say yes. Breathe into the power and the presence of all of those who've come before you, all of those peoples over time who have persevered through challenge, through oppression, who've discovered spiritual wisdom and truth in the midst of that. You're standing on that. You are standing on that. You are carrying it forward. We are carrying it forward. Yes. Yes. So I give thanks to know that, individually and communally. So I surrender it, and I know it's unfolding to its greatest manifestation through all of us. And so it is. Okay, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come from living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decision when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself. Will I have the help of mind and body and live a life of grace and wholeness? 'Cause sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. 'Cause I am the place, and you are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. Come on, if you know this. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place.
Thank you, Gino. So powerful. My friend Haley here is going to talk to us about conscious giving and her experience. Hello.
Hi, my name's Haley, if we haven't met. Hi. I'm a lot more nervous than I thought I would be. But I heard that if you have nerves, it's because it's something that you care about, so that's nice. So I was asked to talk about this and why this community is so important to me. If we could just take a breath, we as in me. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so yummy, Gino in the back. Okay, so I wrote it out like the type A person I am. Reason number one, I am just so grateful for the contrast. I grew up being told to believe in God by people who used God as an excuse to judge, shame, and decide for themselves who is worthy of love. In my youth, I'd been to churches for years at a time, and I never felt the God that was mentioned at service. The God in the Bible seemed nice, but these humans made me feel small, even as a petite child. I didn't have the vocabulary to know what shame was, but I knew about love, and I knew that these churches were just not that. Churches with signs that read, "All are welcome," yet were filled with people who noticeably treated others differently if they didn't fit their idea of who should be at church. Examples, white, heterosexual. After leaving the church in early high school, I spent years questioning religion and God and finally came to my own beliefs. First, it was staying as far away from God as I could because I had equated God with shame for a very long time, and I didn't realize that God could exist separately from the rigid expectations of who I was told I should be. Fast forward some years and many hours of deep self-exploration, I reconnected with God as I saw God to be. I spent nearly 10 years away from churches, afraid that they'd tear down the newfound confidence and individuality I'd found through my own self-expression. Then, this summer, still with slight resistance, I decided I was ready to find my community. After a quick web search, I found USC. I was nervous, but I knew I was less vulnerable to brainwashing with friends by my side, just in case. I walked through these doors for the first time in early August on a hunt for a spiritual community that A, wouldn't make me feel awful about myself for being human, and B, would make me a little bit more loving alongside my friends Kenna and Peyton, and that group has grown. Shout out my people over here. Little did I know that this experience would make a complete 180 from my old traumatizing experiences. Many churches and places of worship ask you to become someone that you're not. What makes me feel so safe and loved is that USC doesn't. I can cuss, and I can wear crop tops and show my stomach, and be a flawed human, and I am loved and I am welcome just the same. And I know for a fact that I am not just welcome because I'm white or heterosexual. Reason number 2 is the center and the people feel like home. So after my first service was over, which was a wonderful speech by Margot about light workers that truly showcased inclusivity, I knew I found the one. Not only did the talk do something for my soul, but the music did too. Gino struck up conversation with me in the bathroom post-service with the yummy, you know, her vibes. And it felt like we'd known one another for years. Love poured out of her so generously, and not because I was fitting into a small box that once proved me worthy of love in prior churches that I had attended. Gino is somebody who shows people that they are somebody special. The feeling of not belonging has crept up on me since adolescence, and Gino, just being Gino, reminds me of my beauty through her radical authenticity and love that gives me a permission slip to do the same. And not to target just one person. Yes, Gino, you deserve praise for days, but to remind y'all of the impact of just one person and how I'm positive that each of you does that for each other in this community. We all make up this community. Walking into USC was like walking into a warm hug. I mean, literally. Eileen and a few others at meet and greet gave me a hug my very first week. With each new person I greeted, I noticed that the hugs and the handshakes and the eye contact were all very intentional, not just a routine to feel good about themselves and maybe check off a box to make it into heaven. Something that really stands out to me is how close-knit this community is. I went to the post-election community event on a Wednesday night, and nearly everyone said that they were grateful for this community, specifically Universal Spirit Center and the community they've created for themselves. Reason number 3, this place just does something to my soul. I've claimed myself to be non-emotional nearly my entire life, but here I'm moved to tears often because number 1, I finally feel like I'm at home, and number 2, I'm reminded of how precious life is. I'm primarily surrounded by people in their 20s and 30s with little death surrounding me and those that I love. To be in a room with so many people who have grieved such deep losses and choose to heal and love regardless, it makes my heart more open, and I'm more grateful in my day-to-day for life itself. And finally, reason number 4, it's deeper than just the 3D. On a spiritual level, conscious giving is a way to express gratitude and to show life that you trust it. Even when I've been financially not doing so hot, I give, and I swear it comes back every single time because I know, and the Spiritual Center helps me reaffirm, that life has my back every single time. Giving provides a feeling that is inexplicable, so nourishing for the heart and soul. So to sum it all up, I give because I feel like this is home, and homes cost money. I give because I feel the energy of love here every single time. Whether I'm alone, I show up with a couple people, or I bring my whole people in for the cult. Life has my back. This is so nourishing for my heart and soul. I already said that. And finally, I give to express gratitude toward the center and life for giving me this opportunity to be met and filled with love every Sunday. Thank you all for providing this truly life transformational experience. So let's financially give to our lovely center. Let's take one more deep breath. And if you feel comfortable, place one or both of your hands on your heart and just repeat after me. As I give out,
As I give out,
I receive.
I receive.
And as I receive,
As I receive,
I give.
I give.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Woo-hoo. Wonderful.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yeah. All right. Let's get ready for our conscious giving song. Come on. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do.
Give me a hand. Thank you, Haley, for sharing. Thank you. Thank you, Gino, for the music, and our musicians. Thank you, thank you. All right, let us stand. We're going to stand in the truth today. We're going to walk out here standing in the truth, right? All right, so let's just take a moment and breathe in all the yummy, yummy. And know that there is good, that we ought to have it, that we live it, that we have that we are the point and place of God showing up as wholeness, as peace, as wisdom, truth, freedom, love, joy, right here and now. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. And so it is. And so we will have yummy yummies and afterwards as well, okay? So, all right.
Yes, our wonderful community room.
Yes.
So let's sing out I Send Our Love. Let's send our love out big time. Everybody ready? Yeah, let's send out some love. Let's lift the neighborhood up. I send my love over the mountains. Come on, y'all. I feel you. And it returns to me. Send the love. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens. And it returned to me. Send the joy. I send my joy over the mountain. Send your joy over the sea. Send your joy into the heavens. And it returned. Send some power. I send my power over the mountains. I send my power over the sea. I send my power into the heavens. It returns to you and me. Peace, send my peace over. I send my peace over the sea. Send your peace into the heavens. Let it return to you and me. So this Sunday when you're out there, if you're watching the football game, if you're watching my Kansas City Chiefs beat up on Buffalo, I love you, Val, but or wherever you are, when people see that light of yours shining and they go, hey, I want to come and shine my light. Say, come and join me at. Say it like you mean it. Come and join me at. Let's send some love. Choir, I'll see you here at 1 o'clock. Everybody get ready as they change the room for our community room. Over the sea, let's send some love into the heavens. Let it return to you and me. Let's send some love over the mountain. Let's send our love over the sea. Send our love into the heaven. I love you. Don't you know?